Unlike humans, whose priests are revered for their dedication to one god, all Norn feel equally guided and befriended by the spirits. Some Norn don't follow a particular path, preferring instead to revere all the spirits of the wild, following each whenever its lessons are relevant in their day-to-day lives. Those who choose to become shamans devote themselves to a spirit's sacred area, a shrine, lodge, or hunting ground dedicated to their patron spirit of the wild. They serve their people as guardians and teachers, protecting their territory and instructing others in the lessons of the spirit they revere. 4 of the most powerful and dedicated shamans are known as the Speakers of Holbrak. They tend to the 4 lodges that flank Holbrak's main hall, which were raised in honor of the spirits that led the Norn to safety. The wise Alarin of the Frostborn speaks for Bear's Lodge. Moda the Black is Raven's learned speaker. The Wolf Lodge is kept by a young speaker named Fastav Jortherson. The beautiful and mysterious Valorantha is the speaker of Snow Leopard. Shamans can be found across the Shiver Peaks, and even in far-flung areas, but one special type of shaman, known as a Havroon, is far less common. A Havroon is a special servant of the spirit, a vigilant and active defender of the spirit's interests in both this world and the next. Havroons have the unique ability to physically cross into the mists and go to the Hall of the Spirits, where the brave live forever. They do not need to open a portal or perform a ritual unless they are taking others with them. Alone, they simply step into the spirit realm, sending their spirit into the mists as easily as crossing Hearthstone. There is only one Havroon per spirit of the wild. There may be another in training, if the current Havroon has grown old or wary and is preparing for their final crossing into the mists. Part 117. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. Hope you guys are doing good. It is a bloody miserable day out today. Truly miserable, which is a shame because yesterday it was so nice. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a little bit of recording. Now, one thing I kind of wanted to mention yesterday, but is now kind of thrown me through a loop, is usually when you start a new chapter, as we did on the previous part, you get a mail, right? Saying, hey, come meet me, come do whatever. Ed did not actually mail us, though. We have 2 mails here for about the Ascalonian catacombs, of course, and the introduction from our herald. But as far as sending us a mail saying, hey, come meet me, that doesn't happen here. Kind of curious. There was another little thing as well. If we look in our inventory, you'll see we did get a letter from Air upon finishing the first chapter. She said, with Korag gone, that being the Jotun we destroyed, his remaining tribe may finally know peace, take pride in their new beginnings, Slayer. And we can double click this to actually gain luck, which will improve our odds of getting higher quality gear dropping from opponents as we go through the game. So yeah, that's kind of nice. The story journal itself as well, just to recap where we are now in the middle of chapter 2, we met with the Coden. So we first of all visited Krennic's homestead and identified the danger he was facing, a son of Svanir named Varg. Varg is summoning monstrous creatures with a powerful horn. Worst of all, the horn is mine. I lost this important family heirloom to Varg at a recent moot without knowing how dangerous it was. Now Air and I are determined to get the horn back. So the story journal reveals something kind of funny there, that we actually had this in our possession most of our life and never knew it could summon dangerous creatures. What, did we just never blow in it? Is Varg like more magically inclined than us? Well, hey, who knows? So the horn itself supposedly was a gift to Romka, our ancestor, from the Coden. So the Coden have recently come to this area of the world by coincidence, so we could seek them out. We did among the Coden after proving our worth against a common enemy, that being the Dredge. The Coden, followed by Night, told us Romp's horn was being kept at the Son of Svanir camp near Drakental. Now here, you know, I mentioned that instance we did was a very basic instance. You can even see from the story journal, the devs were pretty time crunched implementing that one. Well, next we get the Darkness at Drakental, and we're going to head, finally, to an area of the Snowden Drifts that we've never seen. We've walked along the road to Lion's Arch, okay, but there's lots of places in Snowden that we've not even, like, glimpsed at, really, and that's going to be our adventure today. Also, we get to unlock some new skills. So, first of all, I do want to show you as well, now that we're level 30, I've got a back piece from our level up rewards, and the skin I've put on it is this really fancy skin here, the Holbrak Mountain Pack. Now, this is a special Norn backpack you only get once your account is several years old, and you get to choose a special backpack for some of the races. You've seen, say, the Char one I talked about way back when. You've seen the Silvaria one, the human one. Well, here is the Norn one, and it's really, really, really gorgeous. I love the way that actually fits our armor there, so we're looking even more Norny than ever before now. This actually wasn't in the game when it first released, but hey, it's cool to throw on now. I can't think of a better time to do it, so yeah. And of course, now we are level 30. Well, I wanted to show, as I promised off, some of the specializations. Look, another Silvari. This one's a trader, though, moving along the road. So, as we run down the road, I do want to show trait stuff. So, some classes, when it comes to setting up traits, I'm less enthusiastic about. But this one, I really, really, really enjoy, okay? Every single line feels super distinct and interesting to me. Marksmanship, bow stuff, damage-oriented things, skirmishing, condition, and evasiveness and movement. Wilderness survival in terms of, you know, one of our tanky lines. Then there's also nature magic. So as a ranger, you don't really think of us as much magically inclined, but we do get a magic line here. It's a bit like as elementalists, you get fire magic and earth magic and water magic. Well, ranger gets nature magic, right? I like to think of it as another element. And finally, beast mastery. So, in my original plan for the series, I was actually going to go marksmanship and show you guys that first, but I want to do beast mastery. I want Beartooth to be stronger, and of course, we did get our Raven right at the start of the game as well, still as yet unnamed. So I want to show you guys these guys and do a bit of pet swapping in combat now, something we haven't done. So let's buy our way. Can we go all the way into the line? Oh, we don't actually have enough points. In that case, I guess we'll just buy as far in as we possibly can, which would be all the way up to here, natural healing, as you guys see there. So let's come in, let's slot beast mastery. We get this passive. Our pet's attributes are all improved now. So the pet just is tankier and hits harder and everything, right? Their primary attributes have all gone up, and pet skills can be activated more frequently. Like the F2 here is now down to 24 seconds. Over here, we've got loud whistle. While we have very high health, our pet does more damage, and we can pet swap more regularly. And the next minor we don't actually have unlocked yet, but we'll get it soon. And that's our pet runs around faster, has almost permanent swiftness, and deals more damage on crits. It gets a ferocity bump. So basically, these just make our pet better in a lot of cool ways. I preferred kind of beast mastery buildcraft in the original game in a sense, but hey, so we got that. Those are the minors. Then also we get to pick a couple of traits here. We can take go for the eyes, an old paragon thing. We've got potent ally, resounding timber. I'm actually going to go potent ally here, which is you and your pet grant each other might whenever we crit. So if I crit with my bow, I give him might. If he crits with his howl, he gives me might. It's a nice thing that can stack quite high might in the end. And then also, let's pick up, let's just go pure beastie stuff, okay? So, wilting strike. Beast abilities now inflict weakness. So here, if I mouse over my F2, you'll see when he howls, he just does chill and damage. If I take this, he does chill, damage, and weakness at the same time. And you can continue augmenting skills like this to give them taunt and do all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, there you go. We're now a beast master. And what we'll do in the next couple of fights as we move along now is we'll pet swap too and see how well they act. So here, for example, there's a wolf we can fight. We can have Beartooth use his howl there. Well, the guy is already dead. We got this other player near us. But Beartooth can use his howl. And then we can swap to our Raven. And the Raven can chew his face off with Blinding Slash, which also does weakness and blind. So this guy's really cool. I never showed you the actual Raven abilities. They get a slash, they get a Blinding Slash, they get a slash, they get a swoop, which moves them very fast, and they give us swiftness. I love the birds. The birds actually do really high damage. They're one of my favorite pets to use in PvP. The F2 triggers super quick and like double strikes here, so I'll show you, right? We'll send the Raven over to these wolves. He gives us swiftness as he goes. You see here, we got swiftness. And then he's going to start... Oh my god, this player's destroyed them already, the warrior. Alright, well, that's fine. Look, he's very cool, and you're going to see me spamming this ability like mad, okay? As we swap between our pets. So, this is kind of nice. We get a heart here. Curse this post. Corrupted Ice is all but claimed Lion Road, and I can barely keep this side of the road clear. I'm proud to keep Snowhawk safe, but there are bigger fights to be fought. Sounds like you could use some help, we say. Ah, Wolf sends me a bold companion. Well, wild creatures and Sons of Svanir often attack travelers, but the Ice Brood are the greatest threat. They even find their way into hunting traps. Think you can help? Sure. All right. Well, nothing I can't handle. I'll see you later. We'll just deny him. Now, there's a couple of really cool things in this area of the world I want to go to as we also visit the Coden right now. I just need to figure out when exactly I want to make my detour. Now, the quest... Oh, hold on. Am I wrong about this? What homestead is this? Oh, that's a different area. Maybe we should go there and see the scout anyway. Let's do it. I love the voice acting. Let's go see the scout. Hello, everyone. Looks like we've got a char here. What's her name? Soraya Softpaw. 49.50. There. I've been collecting some of the local flora to make into Doliac treats. For some reason, the beasts like it best when the plants are bundled together like this. Well, have fun, we say. I know I did show you guys a vista at the end of the last episode. There's kind of a cool, like, Easter egg up here where you can find a deceased merchant in a cave. Maybe something for you to do if you're playing the game along with me. We've also got Lion Guard Sergeant Black. Good to see you. Which direction did you come from? We came from the east. I hope that doesn't mean you're heading west. It gets nasty out there. This detour road isn't much better than the main road north of here. Watch out for Jotun, that's all I'm saying. Jotun? Yeah, giants with bad attitudes. My granny used to tell me how they were once magical and smart. Not so true anymore. Now they're just dangerous. We had to route our detour through their territory. It's interesting, she hears this from her granny, that if you don't know anything about the world or the lore, you might think that the Jotun were magical and smart quite recently, back when this person's granny was around, you know, in her youth. But of course that's not true at all. It's way older than even that. What happened to the main road? Well, ice brewed, that's what happened. Jormag vomited corrupted ice crystals all over up there. No matter what we do to get the northern road open, again, the ice brewed comes along and tears it back down. Now, interesting trivia for you all. When you are hanging around this area of the world, obviously it's way north that the Claw of Jormag fight occurs, and we've seen the Claw of Jormag slamming the ice crystals down and whatnot. Funnily enough, that animation and seeing a Claw of Jormag is actually possible on this map if you're at the right place at the right time. I did a series many years ago now called Guild Wars 2 Mythbusters or Guild Wars 2 Did You Know? I can't remember which one it was, where you actually get to see that. It's really badass. Why is that your job? In the sense that it presents like a contiguous world, even though they're separate maps, right? At very different levels. This is low-level stuff. This is end-game stuff. And yet that one thing does actually cross through them. Or there's, you know, suggestions visually that it does. If the Lion Guard don't do it, nobody would. We have a vested interest in keeping trade routes open between Lion's Arch and our trade partners. They need this road to maintain trade with the Norn and with the Char. Look how big we are compared to this poor woman. So yeah, cool. All right, and the Scout, which is what I really want to show.
Since corruption spread by the Ice Brood has blocked the main road, we've had to detour traffic through this dangerous side route. The increased risk has hurt trade to and from Lion's Arch, even affecting our ability to get basic supplies. We must improve the safety of the road so that the flow of trade can be re-established.
Okay, pretty basic. Makes sense. And we've even got a Lion Guard Sylvari here.
The moment.
I thought the Ice Brood grew out of the ice, but one of the Norn-shaped creatures at Blasted Haven looked like someone I thought was dead. It gave me a strange feeling. Fear mixed with sadness. That sounds like an appropriate response. Yeah, the Ice Brood being the dead coming back. Very Zaitani, honestly, what a lot of Jormag does and how he manipulates the people that go after him. The novel Edge of Destiny opens with this beautiful passage that basically shows, hey, these people go off to try and fight the dragon only to come back and attack Holbrook very soon later. Alright, so with that done, I guess we can move on into the story step, but do remind me, I want to go south and check out some of these other places too. In fact, last episode you heard some Norn in Holbrook talking about the tomb of King Jarlis Ironhammer. Well, that's actually very near here. Darkness, a Drakentel. It's a jumping puzzle, so we won't be going there. I've already done that in my jumping puzzle series, but I do want to show you the entrance at least. Okay, so air and followed by night are with us.
I greet you like the sky greets the sea.
I greet you too. Is that good or bad? I mean, I don't know. Hey, air. Will you talk some sense?
Yes, the imbalance is stronger here. I can sense the horn casting a dark shadow.
Varg used the horn to summon ice imps. If he found a way to infuse the horn with Jormag's corruption, there's no telling what else he could unleash with it.
Then stay close and move fast. We're not leaving without the horn.
Alright, makes sense. We must find Varg. Every time he uses the horn, he leaves destruction in his wake. He has to be stopped. Trust me, we'll find him and stop him. Interesting idea that maybe a lot of the difficulties that are existing on the road and stuff right now isn't just because of the activities of Ice Brood, but it could also be because Varg's in the goddamn area and he's been making things worse. This is the place. The corruption I feel comes from this site. Varg must be near. Good, then the horn is also near.
Varg is Dragon's favorite. He's been transformed.
It's that horn he has. He can summon all sorts of beasts with it. Dragon must be impressed with Varg's cunning.
cunning. Ha! He won that horn cheating at dice. Dragon was impressed with that.
He won it from us. Damn it. I feel like such a failure. All right. Okay, hold on. Let's go pure spirits again. I really like spirits. I know that the traps are cool too, but... And let's summon these. And then what I want to do is have our Raven attack while powered by the spirits. Here we go. And we're going to attack while powered by the spirits. Look at that. Look at that big-ass chunk of damage right as the Raven gets in there. Oh, my God. It's basically one-shotting and stuff. So cool. Oh, my God. Dude, I love Beastmaster builds. I really do. As far as competitive gameplay is concerned, they really frustrate me because AI is, you know, always irritating to die to AI rather than the hands of a player. But there's some fun stuff for PvE. I love playing minion monsters and like rangery kind of characters that get to do cool stuff with pets. Very badass. Get on in there. Here we go. Yeah, nice. Okay, Varg, you are going to get your face chewed off by a bird. I really hope you appreciate... Oh, my lord. Okay, a ton of ice breed elementals spawn.
These creatures are not natural.
Varg must have summoned them with a horn. Finish them quickly.
No, you're telling me they're not natural. It seems very, very unnatural to me too. Here, let's pet swap an icy howl. Get a nice big hit here. Weakness, so they can't really hurt us back. And what do we have? Oh, it looks like we couldn't quite see. We were visually blocked by something there. I don't even know what that was.
Varg! You cheated me out of my inheritance. I know your dice were loaded. Give me back my ancestor's horn.
You were stupid enough to be cheated. You were stupid enough not to know how powerful this horn is. Now you'll die because you were stupid enough to fight me.
Hand over the horn, Varg, and no one has to suffer.
No. But if you bow down before me, girl, I'll make your sacrifice to Jormag a fast one.
Then it's by force.
God, Ulfric is by far, I mean, even more than Tyrix, it seems, the most, like, angry, ferocious, brutal character we have. And that's amazing. I really, really like that, right? That's the Norn spirit if I ever knew it. We're going to have him destroyed by our pet, though. Check it out. Look at the Raven just slamming him up here. Get our spirits.
You'll never beat me. Jormag's strength makes me invincible.
So look at this beautiful summon animation here as well, by the way. When he creates the ice brood, they really come out in these big... icy prisons that then shatter open. You don't see such an intricate spawn animation for stuff so regularly in the game. There you go, there's another one. But Varg is no match for us. I mean, we've got a lot of people here. Down he goes.
The horn's still in one piece, but it feels strange. Like a bitter wind is blowing through it all the time.
It is Jormag's corruption from every crevice and corner. It is no longer the horn we crafted for Romka. It has become a vessel of darkness, terrible and dangerous. My people know a way to destroy such distortion.
But in our hands, we can preserve Romka's legacy. His descendants should decide whether to keep the horn or destroy it.
It's your choice, Slayer. You can reclaim the horn and Romka's legacy.
Or you can maintain the balance by destroying this corrupted horn. Choose wisely, Southerner.
Damn it, that would sting to be called Southerner there. Varg, by the way, has more interesting animations than that. In fact, if we go to our combat log here... Oh, I don't actually have one set up. I can't be bothered to do it. But he's got some weird, like, different things that you wouldn't normally see on Sons of Svarnir bosses. That's kind of curious. Now, we get a really awesome decision here to do with the horn. Let's actually go inside the homestead here. This is called Drakentel. Weird to think that the Sons of Svarnir actually live in places like this, eh? I mean, he was in here behind the door. We kind of busted it open. In fact, he busted out. Why would you destroy your own door like this? Imagine if he'd killed us. He'd just come back and be like, oh, damn, I need to fix that now. So, yeah, we get a cool decision. And I guess we'll consult with Followed by Night first. The horn must be destroyed. Even if it's used for good, the balance will still be disrupted. So they made it, but now they're like disowning its power and saying, oh, no, it's just evil and bad now, like because of something the Sons of Svarnir did to it. I wonder whether Coden misguidedness back on its initial creation actually fueled some of the destruction we see now, and they're just disowning and saying, oh no, that's not to do with us now. I understand both options must be weighed carefully. Maybe that's me. I'm not saying that that is what happened. I just think that would be interesting to have happened. That's not me reaching for reasons to mistrust the Coden. All right, I totally get that. In fact, was it ever said that Followed by Night was exactly one of the people that needed Romka? I think it was, right? meaning that this is actually a very old character, as we said. All right, so, Air, what do we want to do?
The journey continues.
As I said, quite often in the personal story, as you guys have seen, the decisions we make aren't that fun. They're, oh, do you want to do a stealth attack or a front attack? This is one of the examples, like saving an orphanage or a hospital, for example, that I think was really, really, really well handled. And this was a difficult decision to come to as a player, so check it out. You are Romk's descendant, so the choice must be yours. Honor your ancestor and keep the horn, or respect the wishes of the Coden and destroy it. So, what would you guys actually pick here? I share the Coden's concern. The horn is dangerous. Heirloom or no, it has to be destroyed. Or we could say the horn is my legacy and an important part of my ancestor's legend. I can't destroy that. Now, another interesting factor that I'm so happy to be able to candidly talk to you guys about because of the way that everything's been structured now, is we know we're going to meet Romka later on, way later. So, depending on whether we break the horn or choose to keep the horn, you know, might even have, theoretically, an effect on that way out there. So, what exactly would we choose? Well, we seem like a really ferocious bastard. Not necessarily too sentimental about things. Well, actually, I'm going to decide, and I think the better instance to play, honestly, in terms of amounts of dialogue and stuff, which is nearly always what I favor, is to destroy the horns. So we're going to choose to get rid of it and share in the Coden's concern. You surprised me, Slayer, says Air. The horn is your link to your ancestor. I didn't think you'd abandon what you could preserve. And maybe, you know, the Norn way would actually be to honor these old legends. And we could say, this is what I have to do. I think Romka would understand my choice. And so there you have it. That's this quest done. Darkness at Drakentel. We can take... all the skins are the same here. So a choice of condition damage, power, or toughness. I'll go with the power. We get a little bit of progress for one of our crafting trees there. I support you in this. The horn was the last legacy of one of the greatest Norn heroes of legend. But it was still too dangerous to be kept. And by the way, this isn't faked. I think if you choose the other option, Air genuinely is like, okay, cool, I understand. Like, they don't have her doubt you both times. Or they might, I don't know. Thank you for believing me in it. It was not an easy choice. And what about you? Are you happy with what I decided to do? You've made the hard choice of sacrifice over memory. Coda smiles on your wisdom and knows that the decision was not an easy one. We shall help you restore balance. Agree, we can't risk something like Varg, someone like Varg getting their hands on it again. Alright, so we're going to get on out. And we're actually going to go visit where the Coden are hanging out now for what is actually quite a difficult mission, honestly. On our way there, though, I do want to show you, like I say, King Jarlath's refuge. So that's just going to be down this road here a little. I also want to show you a couple more of the ranger skills. So you see this cave, this like inconspicuous, innocuous little cave here? Well, if you walk down, you'll actually suddenly start finding lots of dwarven ruins. You'll see that there's a looter here. And sometimes, actually, for dailies, the game will ask players to come here and beat the King Jarlath's refuge, which has got several jumps and tricky maneuvers you have to do to get deeper in. So, for example, if I fall down here, the road is just a dead end. You actually have to know to jump over that and go on. This is actually, I think, the easiest jumping puzzle in the whole game. Probably. Maybe there's one or two that's even easier, but it's extremely simple to beat. And you get a nice little bit of loot in there while you're at it. Even they reward you with a vista, it looks like. So that's nice. That's one thing that I want to show in this area of the world. The other one is to do with the spirit of Owl, who, as we know, is now... doesn't have a great lodge, right? There is no great lodge to Owl. We're still reasonably close to Holbrook, by the way. As we come to Snowdon and you start moving south again, you know, we're not too far from the Raven Lodge, even though in terms of gameplay, it's taken a long time for us to get here. And you're going to find a very, very cool landmark just down the ways. In the meantime, we've seen Axhoffhand. What else do I want to show you? Okay, that's my wardrobe, not actual equipable stuff. Torch. I don't think I've shown you Torch just yet. So, we get two skills. We get the ability to throw a torch. From range, when it lands, it does damage and burns someone. That Skelk just stealthed when we aggroed it, but it was still taking the burning damage. You'll notice that torch burning lasts a really long time. And then also, you've got Bonfire. Now, this one's ludicrous. Look at that. 9 stacks of burn on a single skill. Set a fire around you, damaging and burning foes. So, if we plop this down... and the Owl Griffin stays in it, he's just going to get burnt and burnt and burnt. Now, this is a fire combo field. So if I go back to my short bow and I use combo projectile finishes, like leaping back here, they will also burn. They'll take on the fire that I placed on the ground, and you'll be able to, you know, get extra damage. This is kind of an interesting thing, actually, setting the bonfire, then swapping to the bow. When the game was very first being shown to people, the devs kind of talked about this firewall and then someone else shooting projectiles thing as not necessarily a solo combo, but as something players should coordinate amongst one another to do. But with the way that the game works now, that's just a really basic, simple thing that most people find themselves executing all the time. But yeah, so that's Torch offhand. And running Axe Torch is really good because Axe main hand has lots of condition damage, and then Torch has lots of condition damage because of all the burning. So you can actually run a pretty convincing condition damage ranger build that uses these. I mean, 9 burn is no small amount. Oh, look, there's a wounded stag we can res here. So you'll see we just entered range of a heart. The heart says, help owls followers. We can feed sacred owls. We can drive foragers and sons of Svanir from the owl lodge and defeat animals in the valley, reading owls' sacred teachings. So what is this, guys? It's another lodge. Not necessarily a great lodge, as it were, we would maybe describe it as, but this is the Owl Lodge, the Owl Waypoint. And look, just as the Spirit of the Wild has been defeated and is supposedly gone now and is something to be mourned, the lodge has fallen into disrepair and been destroyed. Check it out. On the floor here, we find these damaged writings. It says, you find the crumbling remains of a blessing. Owl, we call upon you so that we might live by your wisdom. We will hunt silently and well so that our homes will never know danger or starvation. Leave the book alone. So if the Spirit of the Wild has been destroyed, it's really interesting to think, well, how do the Norn now interpret what Owl represented? Are these things all gone too? So to read this damage writing, this book is too fragile to handle, but a few lines are legible. All the wisdom of nature can be learned from the spirits, but beware, the ice dragon's lessons carry a heavy price. Like, if Owl, you know, supported family, right, as much as Wolf does, and then Owl is gone, does that mean that many Norn will start to disrespect family in the way that they once upon a time used to? These bats are actually really dangerous and might get me downstate, so I'm going to use my heal here. To hear bear or wolf is to know fear, for their enemies cannot overcome them. To hear owl is to know peace, for her enemies will never hear her coming. By the way, I just want to say, in terms of real life me, I love owls. They're awesome. Gifs of owls hunting and watching the way they move and stuff. I remember when I was a lot younger, I went on like an educational thing to like a nature sanctuary. We did all this stuff to do with owls and, you know, having owls perch on your arm and watching how they hunt at night from like these booths where you watch. They're so cool, guys. Owls are badass. As like predators, I genuinely think they're really awesome. And they're a pretty cool pet as well in Guild Wars 2. And you can actually get, I think, a juvenile owl right here. So, round the back of the lodge, there is, standing on his own, a devotee of Owl. He says, few remain who still teach the ways of owls, and yet her methods are extraordinary. Hunting at night with ambush-like swiftness and precision is beautiful to behold. Shall I show you? So, we can actually get a skill challenge here if we are able to defeat the devotee of Owl. And we can slaughter it. And yeah, I just love the idea. I mean, what a beautiful things that the devs did here. They basically said, hey, we've got these great lodges. What if we have one of the spirits of the wild destroyed and show a destroyed lodge along with it? Really fascinating. And they even went above and beyond, because if you come right up to this corner here, you can find a way to sneak onto the roof of the lodge. And you might think, oh, well, this is totally broken, WP. You're not meant to be up here. But you actually are. It's like a jumping puzzle. Sort of. Not, you know, not a formal achievement-oriented jumping puzzle. But it's a big thing with planks that you're deliberately meant to be able to walk on to get up to this vista up here. And on the inside, look, you can walk along these beams. It's really fascinating. I really, really, really like it in the Owl Lodge. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's little lore textbooks. Quite the highlight of Snowdon for me. Something I definitely wanted to show off. So, yeah, we got that. Now, I guess, next we want to move over to the scout up ahead. And, oh, here we go. Look. Shall we grab an owl? Here you go, a juvenile owl. Let's charm it. This snowy white owl is a graceful and elegant pet. White owls are fiercely loyal to their friends and family. They unleash chilling cold and claw slashes their foes while evading attacks in a flurry of wings, written by Act. Would we like to equip now? So we can actually replace our raven with an owl here. Now the ravens got blinding slash, but the owl has chilling slash, you see? So we can choose whether we want to inflict blind on someone or chill on someone. And a lot of the time, the blind may seem like a much better option, but chill can be very good too in how it slows down people's cooldowns or actually inhibits their movement speed. In a lot of ways, Owl can feel stronger. Also, Raven might not be classified as a supportive pet. It might instead be a ferocious pet, which means when you get some of the elite specializations later, and I don't want to go into those details just yet too much, you get different perks from merging with them and doing all kinds of fun, crazy things. Yes, I did just say that. Rangers eventually can learn to merge with their pets. So yeah, we get Juvenile Owl. I kind of want to name some of these. Let's call him, and it's an amazing name. You ready? Let's call him Owlson. There you go. There you go. Look, and that's not tacky and cheap, guys. That's not bereft of creativity, because, you know, it's like Norny, right? It's Owlson. Or maybe I should call it Owl.it. Anyway, here, Lasting Journey. It's code.
When Jormag appeared, he drove many creatures to the south to find refuge. The voice of Coda led us here to Song of Final Exile. We are not the only ones. The Quaggan town of Urgulp is also made up of refugees from the north. It is easy for problems and conflicts to arise when dealing with this kind of transition, and there are many that could use a helping hand.
In just mere moments. In fact, the Quaggan of Urgulp we're probably not going to spend much time with. There's not too much to talk about with them. We did just miss a waypoint, but hey, whatever. But the Codan that have actually come to settle nearby, definitely we will spend some time with. So let's keep on moving. Now, you will notice something just happened there as we were at the Owl Lodge, as we communed and mourned the loss of Owl. We hit level 31. Level 31 is the level that you get elite skills. Now, we're out of hero points because we spent them all in Beast Mastery. In fact, look, if we spend that one we just got from the Owl Lodge, look at this. The game working beautifully here. We train at a cool place, we get a new trait, and that gives us our new passive. So our pets are even stronger now, okay? We get Pat's prowess. But we don't really have enough points to buy, say, the Spirit Elite. Spirit of Nature is now available. There is an elite one. It's got a cool effect, and we're now a high enough level, but we don't have the points. That's a shame. But what we do get, even without spending any points, just because we're a Norn, are elite skills for the Norn. So if I go to build, and then I go to, let's see, slot skills, you'll see down here in the elite skills section, there are 4 new abilities. I kind of want to move away from the Sons of Svanna here. We've got Become the Wolf. We've got Become the Bear, Become the Raven, and Become the Snow Leopard. 4 separate elite skills, each revolving around one of the priority totems revered within Holbrack. So, who do we want to pick? Well, I think Become the Wolf is probably the best one to start off with. Now, I do want to say, Guild Wars 1, it was all about Become the Bear. All the Norn you met became the bear in combat. You got an elite skill in that game that sort of made you become the bear-ish, but not really. Guild Wars 2, one of the big exciting things was, hey, now you can actually play a Norn and fully become the bear. That was genuinely one of the most exciting things about Guild Wars 2 for a lot of players, that we could now do what we saw all the NPCs doing in the original, all right? And not only could you become bear, but you could become all the other totems too. I liked the idea that you might even be able to customize that transformative property of your Norn. Remember how I said the heir with red hair? Supposedly when she becomes wolf, the wolf has red hair as well. I liked the idea that that would be a bit of player customization. It'd be a big thing. In truth though, unfortunately, because racial skills are balanced to be very bad, this has been an aspect of the game that very rarely people play with. I mean, sometimes, like one of these, if you become Snow Leopard, you get access to stealth, right? So that's kind of useful because you get stealth on classes that shouldn't otherwise have it. Like you can stealth as a warrior as long as you're a Norn. And you could use that in World vs. World if you like. But generally, it's all just so underpowered. People don't play with it much. And it's one of my biggest sadnesses about Guild Wars 2. I've made multiple propositions over the years about how this stuff could be exactly what it was intended to be back in those early days. But hey. Anyway, so let's become the wolf. Since that's what we're all about, we'll activate the skill. And check it out. We roar. And we're kind of like a werewolf, honestly. We're huge as well. This is a minotaur next to us. And we are, you know, on par with it. Now, becoming the wolf does take our profession skills away. So our pet leaves us. But we get a selection of new abilities that, in theory, should be badass things we can use. So you get the rending... Look at the skill icons as well, guys. Rending swipe. We can slash and bleed. We get blood frenzy. Slash repeatedly, stealing life. We get snarl and fear. Look, we can actually fear, even though we're not a necromancer there, by using our skill 3. And we get a skill 4 and 5 as well, which I do want to show you. But look at that cooldown, okay? You'll notice that the auto attacks weren't even necessarily hitting that hard. Sweet, we got a bit of Minotaur Slayer there. But now we're on a 240 seconds cooldown for the elite skill. Now, I actually think that super long cooldown elite skills is the best way for a PvE game that Guild Wars 2 should have been. These days, most elite skills cool down like obscenely fast now, though, and this just feels very strange and doesn't do it any favors. But hey, we'll wait the time and we will show you that again. Don't worry. And in fact, as we play through the next couple of episodes of Ulfric's adventure, I'd love to show you at least once each of the transforms. But we're definitely going to start off in favor becoming the wolf at the beginning. I mean, really, you can't expect any less. There's also another offhand we are still yet to show. That would be Dagger offhand, but there'll be plenty more adventures for that since we actually just reached our destination. This is the exile waypoint. And there's actually, in truth, a lot of fun things going on here, including one that's up right now. Oh, here it is. Look, 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 look. Okay, so a Lagos is attacking the claw of this Codan outpost. It's a Lagos.
No need to call an alarm. The strength of Coda flows through me.
Okay, this is fantastic. So, I thought that this event wouldn't be up when I got here, and I was going to just have to hint at the existence of this. It's a Lagos, guys, in early game. Now, the Lagos we know actually appear in the story way, way, way later. But when we did meet them, way later in the game, I did say that you have a couple of very small opportunities to meet Lagos in the open world. This is one of them. There's another opportunity to meet one in the Brisbane wildlands, many miles away near the, near Metrica province and the Caledon Forest. Well, there's one here in the Snowden Drifts, an entire meta event around it called the Codan Claw. It's our job to make sure that the claw doesn't die to this Lagos. And it looks like other players maybe pushed this event all the way to where it is now. I think we missed the opening dialogue, but we got the end here.
I am impressed, Codan. You have earned
One
your
of Coda
reprieve,
is no man's
but
prey,
this fight
assassin.
is not over.
The strength of our will predicted this success.
Look at that. Unfortunately, the dialogue overlapped a bit. But I think the Codan are a really cool race, and I think the Lagos are also a really cool race. They're both new races for the world and the universe with the release of Guild Wars 2. And so seeing them interact in this way is amazing. What do you have to say here? He says, as the chosen of Coda, we are called to help the world around us improve, wherever we are. Let this guide and direct our actions as we move forward. Okay, goodbye, I say. And what about this guy here?
Life is a trial. Coda the judge, and Codan the jury.
Ice Raking's fighting spirit has long encouraged other fighters among us. Since being chosen as Claw of Coda, he's helped remind us that it takes many supports to make a building stable. Goodbye. Okay, so basically, yeah, there are little hints that maybe there's an assassin in the area, a dangerous assassin that is like picking off the Codan or like disturbing the Quaggan nearby, and it all kind of culminates at the end of that meta event there. This is probably, as cool as the lore subject material is, the most forgettable meta event in all of Guild Wars 2 to me. Like, if you give me any map, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know the meta for that map. I know the meta for that map. I know the boss that appears at the end of that. I know this and this meta for this map. You know, the Mega Destroy is easy to remember. The temples are easy to remember. The Harathi hinterlands are easy to remember. But then for Snowden, it's like, okay, what goes on with the metas on this map? Well, you kill a Lagos at the end, but there's not much spectacle and stuff going on with it. But hey, it's still very cool, and I'm really happy I got to actually fight it here on the series with you guys, because the odds of it being live right as we got there were very low. We get some Gossiping Hunters. And this was where I was going to teach you about the Lagos, because some of these guys actually talk about it. If you came here to talk to the Codan, don't bother. All you'll get for your trouble is drivel about nature and balance. A regular Norn viewpoint there.
Wolf gives me the cunning to outwit my...
Ah, mine too. The Codan have been here for many seasons, yet we know so little about them. I was put off by their haughtiness at first, but I can't shake the feeling that there's something important we can learn from them. What do you mean? We'll take their Coda, for instance. They speak of that one like we do of wolf or bear, but forsake all the other spirits. Even if their knowledge of nature is more limited than ours, I can still try to learn. Look at this. The Norn thinking that the Codan are more limited. I mean, the Codan would not acknowledge that.
She trapped them in their bare forms to teach them humility.
Based on my experience with them, they haven't learned a damn thing.
Ah, this is awesome. That's such cool dialogue. Okay, Still Waters.
The answers lie hidden around you.
Welcome to Song of Final Exile. I'm called Still Waters. How would you like to be called, friend? That dialogue he just spoke there is very cool as well. It's like the devs imploring people to be attentive to the environment and look at the small details of the world as they explore, like we've been doing in this series, but so few players actually do. I'm Ulfric, but tell me, how do Codan get their names? Here, we call this thing Tree, but to it, Tree may be strange. I chose my name to remind me of a certain moment in my life. a name has deep meaning to the bearer. So they name themselves, and Still Waters is what he chose for himself.
All things, in the end, will find balance.
Discourager of hesitancy. Greetings. We've seen more of your kind here than at our northern sanctuary. It's our opportunity to increase world balance. That's the best thing to come out of our relocation. Wait, what do you mean balance? Our voice brought us here to find allies against Jormag, but soon after we arrived, our claw was killed. We lost our direction with his passing, and we struggled to find our place in this land. What happened to your claw? A creature, unlike any we'd ever seen, killed him, without warning. It felled the strongest among us and disappeared into thin air. I can only hope it doesn't appear again. So that's the Lagos that they're talking about here. Spooky. So I remind you guys of that fact that devs were very careful about with meta events. When it's a meta event where an NPC can die or something, or the thing you're fighting can die.
They're afraid of us.
Don't expect others to see the world through any eyes but their own. They misunderstand us, as we them.
I find their lack of balance distressing. How can we rely on them as allies when they can't control their own impulses?
The sword does not need to understand battle strategy to be effective.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Whenever they do an event and it's an opponent or an ally that can die, because the events loop over and over and over, they never give them explicit names, they just give them titles. And the devs are kind of abusing the title of Claw here and Voice here to allow the big important Coden NPC to die over and over again should you fail against the Lagos. And it's not a problem because you never get their explicit name, only their title. But this is really nice. It's brilliant to see a pair of Norn deriding the Coden and the Coden deriding the Norn, and you know how they both interpret things. Very, very cool. There's so much fun dialogue in places like this. So yeah, and then we get the cool village up here. I don't think there's actually much more dialogue. I think we've already seen the meat of it, but we will do a bit more exploring as far as the story's concerned in preserving the balance. And this is the mission I mentioned a moment ago. It's actually quite hard, so hopefully I don't struggle with this. We got Become the Wolf up again, which maybe we can use in a wave. So first thing about this instance, by the way, is you spawn in here, airs with us, and it wants us to run towards the green starburst, which is where I'm facing. However, there's actually a lot explorable back down here. And I think there's even NPCs you can speak to at some point around here. But none of this is actually used by the instance, believe it or not. I guess actually not all the way here. I think what probably happened is the devs originally had the instance start here, and they thought that this was too long of a walk to ask the player base to do. So that instead they like teleported you further up, but never refined the boundaries in the end or something. But hey, all right. So Garm is back, Air is back.
May the spirits of the wild watch over you.
She says, "I'm not questioning your judgment, but I am concerned. This is your ancestor's horn, Romka's horn. Even if it's dangerous, are you sure you want to destroy a piece of your family's legacy?" Again, do you remember what I said in the other episode about how the dialogue is written as though the personal story isn't constrained by this kind of instancing? As though maybe Air could actually convince us now to change our mind and we leave and we go do the other instance? Because it doesn't work that way, but the dialogue is written to suggest it is that way. I redeemed myself by getting the horn back from Varg. Now I must redeem the horn. Yes, if destroying the horn, the sun's corrupted, is the only way to ensure Romka's legacy is never used again for evil, so be it. Thank you, Air. I knew you'd understand. I'm glad to have you by my side. So the Coden who created it can hopefully help us destroy it. You get a lot of really nice dialogue here that's basic information about the Coden for players who've never met them before. So they say, "What wisdom do you seek?" And we say, "My people were driven south by the Ice Dragon too." And they say, "Then we share a sad history. Jormag's minions destroyed one of our sanctuaries and forced others to flee. Someday we will judge the dragon and all its puppets for this obscenity." Someday we will judge the dragon. Oh my lord. Hope to be there on that day. Thank you for your time. I mean, they're bold, if nothing else. Here we get the Coden horn. Come forward and speak. You seem eager to ask something. It seems the Norn and the Coden have much in common. Why is that? I do not know. Our voice has never spoken of any connection between our peoples. For now, it must remain a mystery. Too bad. I was hoping for a tale to tell at that next meet. Now, of course, in one of the videos, I have let you guys listen to the blog posts the devs released when introducing the Coden to us. And they do have that passage in there talking about the connections between the Norn, or the purported connections between the Norn and the Coden. And hopefully you will still remember those details. One of the most fascinating blog posts they'd released. Speak. What is it you seek? I'm interested in the Codan. What's life like on your sanctuaries? They are equal parts ship and temple. They allow us to follow the tides while we meditate on preserving the balance within. And what about this Holbrack-sized one? I mean, Jesus. Who runs each sanctuary? Each sanctuary is maintained by the Claw and its voice. The voice communicates with Coda and helps us translate the founder's wishes into our guiding wisdom. And the Claw? The Claw is the link between the voice and the rest of the sanctuary's inhabitants. The Claw leads us into this world, guiding our actions according to the voice's words. Is there anything else you can tell me? Not at this time. Our ways are refreshing water, but no one can drink indefinitely. Ponder that what we say, and feel free to ask my fellow Codan. Thank you, I shall. So this is, you know, information we should know, but it's the in-game version of hearing these facts. Is something troubling you? I just had a question. Who is Coda? Coda is the ancient one, the founder of the earth and the keeper of the sky. Coda created the world and every creature in it. And what does Coda have to do with bears and you Codan? Bear was the first creature to speak, and his first words were, "Why is this so?" Coda rewarded Bear's initiative with an offer. Watch and learn from this world, and so you shall be its stewards. And so those who revered Coda became Codans. Yes, those that accepted Coda's charge and pledged themselves to preserving balance became as you see us now. Those that did not remained as bears. Interesting, very interesting. And what about us? Well, we can be bears sometimes. And we do put a lot of stock in bear. You approach with a question, ask and I shall answer. Tell me about your spiritual beliefs. Coda teaches that spirits who die without enlightenment must live again. Humans return as human, Norn as Norn, and so on, until they achieve the perfection we Codan have attained. Perfection! Like, look at this, the arrogance, I love it. This sounds like a long journey. It is. It can take dozens, even hundreds of lifetimes to ascend to our level. Only then is one fit for to preserve the balance and sit in judgment of those who threaten it. I see it. This is your birthright, because you're just better than everyone else to judge. Okay, so here, check it out. You've got on a stump, Romka's horn, and it's just pulsing, like, maniacally and crazy and full of corruption. Definitely something to destroy, I think. So, followed by night. It's good to see you. How exactly are we going to go about this?
All things.
And don't get too attached to those Codan we just spoke to, guys.
Coda sees that this choice was a difficult one, but he blesses you for seeing the greater wisdom in destroying the horn.
There's still a chance, Slayer. We can take the horn back to Holbrack for safekeeping.
No, Heir. We've seen what it can do. If the Sons of Svanir captured it again, we would be giving them a weapon that could kill scores of people. The horn must be broken.
Then I seek your aid, Southerners. Purifying this horn will not be easy. The energies inside are potent and will not be purged easily. Speak to me when you are prepared.
Alright. Accompany followed by night to the ritual site and talk to him to perform it. You got any other thoughts? No, she hasn't changed her mind. So you see all the Codan we were speaking to a second ago? They're all now going to come in a ring around this, and they no longer have dialogue for us. These are the people we just spoke to, and spoilers, in about a second, they're all going to die. Seriously. Alright, so Romka's horn, you'll notice he has the energy shield. Once again, stops half of incoming damage, but drains energy when hit. These old artifacts of original design plague the personal story to this day. Are you prepared for the ritual? Once it begins, it cannot be stopped until it's complete. Okay, so I'm going to summon my spirits, and the spirits are going to buff me while I am in wolf form. I love being a ranger as a Norn, because you get spirits and you follow spirits of the wild. It's also spiritual. Okay, I'm ready. Let's begin.
Coda, hear our prayers. Grant us the strength to restore the balance. Strike with your claws and help us destroy this corrupted horn. May you guide, shelter, and protect us as we do your work this day. I hear Coda's roar of triumph. Strike now, Norn. Smash the horn and be done with it. The horn's magic is failing, but I can sense it preparing to defend itself. Stand ready.
Okay, my spirits were kind of useless there because the fight hasn't even started yet. There we go. So let's jump in on the horn. And oh my god, it's so chaotic. The screen shake is insane here. So it really rebels, and all the Codan come out. This is a hell of a lot of mobs here. We have to be very careful, and I don't have my heal skill or anything. So let's become the wolf. I already talked about these, and these are such cool skill icons again. Let's look at these next abilities. So Snarl, we can fear him away. Then you get the skill 4, Howl Wildly, giving everyone fury and regeneration. That hits 10 targets, by the way. One of the first 10 target skills in Guild Wars 2. And finally, you get Leap.
This object threatens the balance. Give us the wisdom to destroy it before it can destroy us.
Norn, strike the horn again. Grind it to dust. The horn weakens. Do not falter.
Damn it, the dialogue window was it was overlapped there. It was invulnerable the whole time. Alright, so yeah, there you go. That's what the wolf final abilities are. It's a big leap where you swing at things. And, yeah, so here we get a ton of Ice Brood Colossus. So these are Ice Brood, possibly built from the Coden in the area. Pretty scary and sad, honestly. They come on in, and if we don't do enough damage quickly enough, all of our allies will die. And when they die here, they're not like the Reservoir kind of dying. They're like the dead kind of dying.
To defend the balance, may your mighty jaws clench down upon our foes. Now is the time, Norn. Finish the deed. Destroy the horn in Coda's name. The horn is desperate. Stand fast, and we shall finish it.
You know, what's kind of funny, I think because I've been using the spirits, it might have healed our allies enough to the point that they survive this. Alright, okay, so the last wave here, I was almost scared that that last big burst of magic was just scripted to kill them all, but they still seem to be okay for now. Here you go, you can have the value of the spirit again, guys. I need to remember I can actually use these actives, and it doesn't kill the spirits, it just teleports them to me. I don't want to teleport them all onto one spot where they can get AoE'd down, but I do want to use the actives at least. Probably would be a lot smarter. Let's get our bonfire up. Something feels really good about using bonfires on these icy creatures. We get a ton of Goliaths this time.
Strike now. Destroy the horn and end this. Now finish it.
Here we go. Alson can finish it off. Nice. Oh, no, there you go. There you go. So now the Coden have become Ice Brood. There you go. And the last phase, I knew they were destined to die. I just forgot it was right at the end here. In the last wave, they all just get destroyed. The game's really unceremonious about it as well, frankly. They just sort of all disappear. You might not even notice that they just all got destroyed trying to do this ritual for you. That's some hell of casualties. But it also shows that what the Coden look like when they become Ice Brood here. And it's this classification. So down they go. Kind of a horrible thing we did, really. We just walked into this place and ruined their lives.
I wish we could have saved the horn. Perhaps you made the right choice, Slayer.
The Coden were right. The horn was corrupted and too dangerous to keep. I can always honor my ancestors in other ways. Their legacy lives on in me.
Be warned, Slayer. Memory has its own weight. And without warning, you can become crushed under, like an avalanche.
Enough about the past. Garm and I need to tell Fastolf that the danger has passed. I'm sure we will meet again soon. May the spirits guide your path, Slayer.
You as well, heir. Safe travels.
And so there you have it. Chapter complete. Fastolf is kind of a weird, like, artifice of this story step. He really doesn't have as much influence as you'd think he should have. So we complete this. We get a Spirit Shard, Icy Strongbox, we get a Wolfborn Vest, Ragamuffin toe shoes, and a signet ring of Holbrook. Very nice. Things best left behind complete. Air doesn't even have any conclusory dialogue for us here. And followed by Night, should we speak to him. I don't think we'll talk.
I greet you like the sky greets the sea.
About the slaughter of all of his friends here, whose bodies don't despawn, it appears now. They get this really creepy, like, icy effect over them. And they have it. So, the end of Chapter 2. Now, if you guys are playing Norn characters as well as you go through, inspired by the series, as I know a lot of you in the comments have been saying, I definitely recommend for one of your biography choices, now that you've seen the Romke thing through my videos, try and do one of the other ones, because especially one involves a lot to do with the Char, and is really quite funny. So there you have it, though. That's Chapter 2. That leaves just one more chapter for the Norn story, really, and that is about joining an order as the story now starts to look towards the Elder Dragons. And funnily enough, you might think, oh, joining an order, we know what that's going to be like. For the Norn, joining an order is actually a really cool story step that reveals some information about one of them that really I think everyone should get, but only the Norn do. So important stuff upcoming. That will be the next episode. I hope to see you guys there as Ulfric's journey marches on. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time for more Transforms, Ranger stuff, and whatever else might be upcoming. Cheers. See you next time.
Son of Snow Leopard, what troubles you?
Is it a crime to kill in silence? I strike my foes unseen. Is that cowardice?
Not for you. Snow Leopard cloaks the sound of your steps.
and she guides your blade.
Then I've come to contemplate my kills.
You come stained with blood. Meditate, and go with peace in your heart.